Then we have Quarem, a scorchingly hot planet close to its parent star. Quarem was bombarded by comets and asteroids during the earliest geological periods. As the solar system stabilized, these occurrences leveled off until the planet became geologically inactive. Its nitrogen and helium atmosphere is extremely thick due to heavy metals making the planet's core very dense. Unfortunately, these metals are deep below the crust, making mining impractical. You say that, but does that mean that there is perhaps more opportunity for us to jump in and do the mining for you with our probes? Hold on. Hold on. I like the looks of that. I do like the looks of that.
Launching probe.
Very nice. Still rich. Ooh. How's this looking? Not good enough, I don't think. Started to see... Looked to be... What was it? Iridium moving for a second there as well? That's almost good enough. Another borderline one. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Maybe a little bit better here? For the palladium? Palladium? That may be worth doing. Give that a shot.
Launching probe.
Still says it's rich. That I don't think is good enough for us. That, hold on, get the peak. Good enough? Thought we saw a little bit better elsewhere, but I don't think that's quite good enough. I'm not really sure we're seeing anything that is feeling worthwhile at this stage. There's something up near the North Pole here. Oh, hold on. Perhaps. Perhaps? Still think that's not quite good enough. That may be a little bit better, but I think we can pass here. We've already gotten the best possible sources for us, unless this is really good here, but I don't think so. So I think we leave it at that, and we will definitely come back here to check out the secure smuggled cargo, but for right now, I think we head over to the Bloitari system here, because we should, hopefully, have enough fuel to get over there and then still head back over to the place where we can refuel our ship and head back through our mass relay. It's basically a bit of a triangle. I did not take the best of lines there, but here we go. Okay, so we'll see if we can find anything that gives us a side quest here as well. If not, then we'll just do some additional scanning. We have Thegon. Thegon rounds out the trio of planets only scouted by space probe in this backwater solar system. Frozen ball with significant amounts of tin in its crust, Thegon has a fractional atmosphere with trace amounts of carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Strange radiation emissions have been charted coming off Thegon, but it is unknown if these are from radioactive elements or merely a star's radiation reflected by high albedo surface. That sounds like potentially element 0. It's rich. And it does. Oh, hold on. It is a rich planet with an element 0 deposit, and a very significant element 0 deposit at that. So hold on, I stand corrected. I am impressed. Let's nab this.
Probe away.
That is a rare find. Yeah, several thousand element 0. Love to see that. That also looks like a pretty solid iridium deposit there. Perhaps worth launching a probe here too.
Probe away.
This looks like a very good planet with various resources. Still labeled as rich, mind you. That's also been pretty good. But, I mean, seems like element 0 is definitely our top priority on a planet like this, where that is hard to come by. So let's go after this deposit.
Probe launched.
Let's see, a little under 23,000. And then a little over 24,000, so like 1,500 there. Also, I mean, bear in mind, when we're getting the Element Zero deposits from missions, just from looting, we're getting usually just a few hundred. Ooh, hold on. What was that? Planet seems like it is loaded. Maybe. It's good. It's not great. Might pass on that. In there. Not really. How high can we make this go? It's probably good enough. We go here, I think. Pretty worthwhile.
Probe launched.
Nice. You'll label this rich. Wow. Okay, now that's better still. That is approaching scale breaking.
Probe away.
Swirling out is no longer rich. It still is. Wow. This planet is just completely loaded, it seems. Is this the source we were saying before that was borderline to whether we want? Well, I mean, it's pretty good. Sure.
Probe launched.
Launching out probes right and left here. Now it's downgraded to good. I think we got a whole bunch of good stuff out of that. Let's move inward. The Sinulus. Space probes indicate that Sinulus is nowhere near as hospitable as its neighbor, Zenathu. Sinulus's hydrogen-argon atmosphere is thought to be an anathema to life, but the presence of borax on the surface, spawned by a boron-heavy core, indicates the planet may once have had water. That suggests potential signs of Element Zero, and it is also rich. But I think first and foremost we were asking ourselves, is there Element Zero? I mean, that's solid right there. That may be worth getting nonetheless, even if we're prioritizing the Element Zero. That's pretty darn good.
Probe launched.
That was what? About 2,000? That's iridium. Ooh, and that's a lot of iridium as well. Yeah, this system as a whole seems like it has a bunch of planets that are just totally loaded on resources. And any higher on that one? Don't think that's good enough to justify. It's not quite as high of a peak as we were looking at before. Whereas that is... Can we get this one maximized like so?
Probe launched.
Nice. Still labeled as rich. Oh man. Looks like this is the resource we're looking for here. Maybe not Element Zero after all, but palladium.
Launching probe.
Now it's listed as good. So we may pass on this now, because like I don't think that's going to be as high of a peak. Initially, I was thinking we were going to run into some Element Zero, but not seeing any here. That's not as good. We saw that previously. Yeah, I think probably good to go here now. Then we have this planet next on our list.
Anomaly detected.
An anomaly detected here, okay. So, Zenathu, believed to be a post-garden world. That is key when it comes to Element Zero. So that means previously had life, and that is usually the indication of, hey, there's likely Element Zero here. Zenathu has large deposits of calcium carbonate in its sedimentary rocks, indicating it may have once had plate tectonics and even plant life. Its swirling clouds of dust and snow may have occurred more recently and blocked the sun, creating a mass extinction event. Its surface gravity is comfortable, and its temperature tolerable by most sapient species. Minus 17 degrees Celsius. I mean, it's not great, but it's livable.
General distress. User unregistered or record damaged. Nature of incident is not recorded. Assistance is requested. General distress.
Sounds like a mech. But okay, launch our probe here.
Probe away.
See what we can learn.
Sensors.
Alliance hotspot detected. Alliance sources request that all ships keep watch for signs of the missing freighter MSV Estevanico. Lost 1 year ago in this sector. Any data recovered that sheds light on the Estevanico's fate would be rewarded. Surface scans indicate the presence of a large shipwreck. Signature bears similarities to that of the Alliance merchant freighter MSV Estevanico. Structural integrity is critical. Life support is damaged, but capable of sustaining a skeleton crew. Recommend extreme caution. Ooh, okay. So, that is interesting. That is, of course, a new mission for us. Take a quick look here. Just how, based on how, despite this being just a good planet from a resource standpoint, did seem, that's not a bad source. That's actually a surprisingly very good source of iridium. But it seemed like the description was suggesting that we might run into some element zero here, which would be the most interesting thing around here, at least from a resource standpoint. Obviously, the mission is pretty important too. But otherwise, I think for anything other than element zero, likely to find the peaks are just not going to be as high as what we would find on a rich planet. But no signs of element zero here, despite seemingly a description that would have suggested that we could run into it here. A little surprised in that sense. But yeah, all this other stuff looks comparatively minor. And that, no thank you. That's decent. Borderline, but given how it's just a good planet at this point, we might be able to do a little bit better on a rich one. Likewise there. Okay, so let's exit for a second here. Let's read up a little bit more on that description. That may be something we want to check out. The Estevanico, a scan of planet Xanathu, revealed the crash site of the freighter MSV Estevanico, which disappeared without a trace roughly a year ago. Any information that could shed light on the ship's fate would be very valuable. To investigate the wreckage, I have no recollection of this mission at all. Whereas the other one, I felt like the smuggling depot, I had the vaguest of memories. But did we pick this up? Oh no, we didn't. Okay, for some reason, since it said new, I thought maybe we had purchased that and we just forgot to give it to Dr. Chakwas. But yeah, this one I felt like I had some recollection of what this mission was all about. This one I have no recollection at all. So we can give it a shot here, but I can't say that I know what we should be preparing for. So why don't we save, give it a shot. So let's land. Do I remember this one? I might remember this one now. So it's just us. Notably, you'll notice that we did not select a squad mate, or any other squad mates for this. So, I mean, we can upgrade Shepard here, but I think we're saving those points. Take a look. We have any updates here? Investigate the wreckage of the MSV Estevanico on planet Xanathu. So, I think I remember this now.
It is
Because
likely that searching the wreckage would provide information about the Estevanico's final hours. Warning: disturbing the wreck could cause it to become unbalanced and fall over the cliff's edge.
that is the thing. Loose tiles. Yes. So, no teammates here. This is basically a platformer mission. And, I don't remember what the best way to go about doing this is, but let's just say this can go catastrophically wrong, and probably will go catastrophically wrong, because, my memory is not good enough to recall exactly what the preferred method for doing this is, because there definitely is a right and a wrong way. And I can almost guarantee that I'm about to do it the wrong way. So, if that is the case, then, oh, we can just shoot the loose tiles? Let's maybe not do that. If that is the case, then, you know, either we'll try again, Are we about to die? Either we'll try again, or we'll come back on a later occasion when we feel a little more prepared. So I hope you don't get seasick very easily. We want to go there? We want to go here. I'm actually not sure. Of course, we don't get a map. Can we hop across this? No, we cannot. Okay. So I think we're going this way then. But, are we though? Are we though? How do we get over here? Hold on. I'm trying to map out a pathway here. Can we walk on that? I'm not sure that we can. Like I said, basically a platformer. Oh, that, maybe? That's gotta be it, right? Okay. I think I see the path now. But, let's just say, in case it isn't abundantly clear right now, one false step, and, we're probably dead. Like, very, very dead. I think our answer is this. Okay. Something over there. Looks like the place we're gonna want to try to get to. As for how we get there, though, that is another question. Go up there, and go down here. There is, notably, some loot over there. Try to map out how one gets there. You can go down here, down there. You go up that to get there, or do you have to go that way first? I feel like you may need to go that way. Oh, we also can't save. Oh, that is brutal. I was gonna say, if we were feeling really unsure about it, we could deliberately, whenever we make so much significant progress, save and then try to redo if things go awry. But yeah, I don't think this is the right way. I think that looks a lot like a dead end. And that if we actually want to get there to that refined iridium, that we actually go up and loop around, but maybe don't run. I'm not sure if it matters or not, but maybe don't. Maybe don't push your luck. That doesn't look very good, though. Nor does that. Yeah, the seasickness thing, the afraid of heights thing, all things that perhaps, you know, if this is not your cup of tea, then this may not be the mission for you. We cannot seem to walk over that. I was wondering if maybe if we stormed, we sprinted, if we could hop, but I don't think we can. Maybe it is down here after all. Maybe I was wrong, unless there's like some other... How do we get over there? Oh, hold on. Go back up here. Is there another way to get onto that? Like this? Over here? Looks like that'd be great if we could get on that. Over here. How do we do that? I'm not sure. I don't think we can get all the way over here. Yeah. Out of curiosity. Catastrophe? Question mark? Oh, I created a platform for us to go down. Okay. Now we're talking. That's what we needed. That's what we needed. We did want to break that down. Now we can go down here. Okay. Now we're in business. Now we have a way across this. Grab that for some extra iridium. And carry on. Get up here. This was the other side of this spot that we previously could not find a way to get to. Okay, that's some more resources over there. We can find a way to get to those. Oh, as is this. Seems like it's all iridium. Can we climb this? We can. Before we do that, though... Okay, no, this is the spot where we saw the other side previously. Okay. Like to get there eventually, but one step at a time. We will end up going through here. I just want to see if we can get a sense from this angle as to what our path might be. Like, I think we're just walking up there. It may not be all that complicated in this stage. But then again, as I was saying before, one false step would make things go horribly, horribly wrong. If you could, like, get up over this, Shepard? Could, like, get up over this? Thank you. Anything else up here? Did I see something for a second? No, maybe not. Okay. Nothing here. So I think we're just going this way. No big deal. Don't mind that. Don't mind that. So we have the loop down there. Are we dead? Are we dying? I don't think we're dying yet. Keyword being yet. So I want to get down there. Oh, it's... Hold on. And that's where we... Is that where we came from, though? Hold on. Have we moved that yet? Fortunately, we can't just, like, walk off the edge, because otherwise I would have just then. Well, at least there's that. Trying to get this additional... I think that's the... I think we got the one back there. That's the one that we have next on our list. Means going around that way, down here, and down there. Barring any late-breaking developments. Pun partially intended. Don't mind us. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Just minding our own business on this large ship that is hanging on the edge of a cliff. Teetering on the verge of collapse. And this looks like the spot we're trying to get to over here, based on the whole flashing light business. Conveniently, that does seem as though that's going to provide us a way down, but I just want to scout out a little bit, see if there are any other sources of resources that we would like to make a point of acquiring, but I can't see any at the moment. So, ooh, hello there! Look at that. Convenient little elevator. And it's like we could double back. Oh, yes, and get some resources. Ah, they hid them. I see what you did there. I see what you did with this iridium. Can't fool me. So we can either go up that way or go up this way, and, not sure if there's much of a difference from here on out. Okay, please don't knock us off the edge. That would be unfortunate at this stage. Also, you know, theoretically, as we're getting closer to the edge, there's increased leverage. I don't think I'm seeing anything. Well, why don't we... It's just me, or is that getting a little more intense with those sounds? Let's try going down the other way just to see if there are any other resources. And again, we're obviously testing the limits a little bit here. But like, anything down here? Hiding in the corner, perhaps? Below the thing that we are supposed to pay particular attention to? Doesn't seem like it. So why don't we head on up in that case? Seems like we're good to go. Oh, well, as it turns out, looks like we do need to go the other way, after all. That looks like a no-go. think that would be untraversable, but maybe I'm wrong. Let's try this, though. It seems like this might be preferable. Because we have a clear access route here. We've got the mainframe. We definitely will want to check out, but ooh, okay, just wondering if there might also be something up here you're hiding at the very end. So I suspect that this may end as soon as we get to that mainframe, but I don't see anything else over here. So sure, let's do it. Now I swear, if we need to run back through this thing on a timer as this is about to collapse, I'm not going to be pleased. There's no way I remember that course that we just took. Fortunately, got our little shuttle to get us out of there. And there we go. There we go. Got a data retrieve. Escaped the mission site, thankfully. We gained 125 experience. So again, these side missions not going to give us the full 1,000 experience we're getting from main quests. Those are basically going to always give us enough to level up once. But if we do enough of those side quests, they'll add up to the point where we can get an additional level from them. And we get some Cerberus funding as well. And a sizable chunk of Iridium, too. Alright, so a totally not stressful mission on a collapsing spaceship teetering on the edge of a cliff. And with that, we are... Let's just take a look from a... from an experience standpoint. I think we should be getting close here to leveling up once more. We need, what, 435... So that's probably the equivalent of, maybe 3 side quests of roughly that same magnitude. Of course, that one we just didn't have any enemies in it, so good early on. And that we didn't need to be particularly powerful to get the job done. Just, you know, may have taken a year or two off of our life. So, let's see. We have finished now with Xanathu. But the only planet remaining in the system now is this one. We'll take a look at this before we head out. Also, apparently acquire the Galactic Explorer achievement. Let's see. Agela, only known from scan data picked up by space probes. Agela is currently classified as a dwarf planet. A warm, barren rock, its thin atmosphere is composed of carbon dioxide and oxygen. Sounds kind of promising, though, if it wasn't 125 degrees Celsius. Significant alumina deposits in its crust make its density and gravity very low indeed. Let's scan it. I have a feeling this will be rich. And will it be rich enough to warrant launching some probes here? Perhaps. That's looking pretty good for the palladium. Although, hold on. I mean, I'd prefer to maximize one of these over getting sort of a compromise of a decent amount of 2 of them. Looking to find the best possible peak. Oh, that might actually be it. It still just doesn't feel like it's quite as high as what we've seen in some of the other planets. But that's maybe a little bit better. Possibly to the point of being worth doing. Curious, though, to see if we can get better still. That is not... Hold on. Wasn't as good for a second. Maybe that? Maybe that's good enough?
Launching probe.
Starting to run low on probes as well, but I think this is going to be the last system that last planet that we check out before we head back to a place to refuel. So don't think we need to be too concerned about that at this stage. This... Load up on Iridium, in particular, as of late. Sure?
Probe launched.
Anything particularly good here? Nah. I think we can pass on that one. And this is the dual peak we were looking at previously, where we were saying, did we try to, get both of them simultaneously? That's not bad for Palladium. Palladium? I already. We confirmed it a while ago, but Palladium, I think. I don't think that's good enough. Is the Palladium ever getting higher than that? Like, that's maybe good enough. especially because mostly looking at the palladium, but getting a little bit of iridium as well. Maybe is a good enough tiebreaker. So I think that's probably all we're looking to do here. I think we've found all the biggest sources. Unless, oh, hold on just a second. Unless you've been hiding this platinum from us all along. Unless you've been hiding this platinum from us all along. Now, let's call it a scan, especially since now it's down to just good. Okay, so we have now fully explored this system. Let's head back to Osun, where we'll find our massive relay and also our place to refuel.
At 1/2 capacity.
There we go. Alright, so let's do that real quick. Load back up on fuel and probes, and then we'll head out. So, let's do this. Would be a little bit overkill to buy another set of probes here, because we'd be 2 over. Might not be a terrible thing, but I think we're headed next to probably that place where we had our previous mission that we discovered, and that other system that we decided, we'll wait before we go for it, but maybe we're ready now. And let's just make sure we have fuel in that case, because that is definitely still needed. And again, definitely best to just get this maxed out. Or just about maxed out. So that looks good. Now let's head over to the mass relay. And we were looking at Recover Cerberus Operative, I believe, over in the Omega Nebula. So let's head over for that. So of course, we've been here before. This is where Omega is, and eventually we'll come back to recruit Archangel. But we're looking to complete this mission over here now. And we actually not yet explored Batala, which we might want to do as well. Let's go here first, though. And it is teeny tiny. So it's Lorik we're looking for. We know we have a mission here. And as a reminder, signal scans detect a transmitter matching Cerberus encryption. It is registered to an unknown deep cover operative. Cerberus operative life signs unconfirmed. Other transmissions that match known Eclipse coded communications also detected Eclipse. We've seen the name float around a little bit, but as I think I mentioned previously, although we haven't really encountered them in full just yet, think of them along the same lines as, say, the Blue Suns, of course, a group that we encountered a lot of in our mission in which we tried to recruit Jack. So, let's land here. And this time, yes, we will get a full crew to join us. And I think, why not have Jack join us for this party? Because, of course, we've not yet had the chance to use her since we had her join the crew. And, wondering if we might try to get Kasumi in here as well for that same reason? Potentially. Let's see, if we do that, then we have Jack is, of course, providing additional biotic support. Shockwave and Pull giving us some good crowd control. Warp ammo, if we do go that route, giving us the additional damage to barriers is the specialty of that. And so I do like Jack in that sense. That means we are definitely still looking for someone to provide some anti-shields. We've gotten better at it as of late because we did pick up recently the additional shield damage with shotguns upgrade, and actually Jack, having a shotgun herself, is also capable of getting some extra shields damage that way. So Kasumi would help with that because she has Overload, which is of course primarily an anti-shields ability, but maybe we take her as well. Okay, so for us, we've already looked at our skill points recently. We're good to go. We have not, however, ever used Kasumi or Jack, so they both have a full set of skill points to use here. So let's take a look. Kasumi has one of, if not the coolest abilities in the game, probably my favorite, Shadow Strike. So, cloak and sneak behind a target to deliver a devastating blow. Yeah, she goes all nothing personnel on them. And, so Cloak sneak behind target, deliver a devastating blow that does massive damage and incapacitates weaker enemies. So, deals 300 damage, which is a lot, and incapacitates for 5 seconds, at least for weaker enemies. Then as we level this up, the damage just gets absolutely ridiculous. And this actually will become the strongest damage ability that any of our squad mates will have access to. So, when it comes to the single target damage, Kasumi is absolutely bringing it with Shadow Strike. So this is definitely something that we'll be looking to level up pretty aggressively. That's going to be one of the priorities. Then once we get that up to rank 2 with Shadow Strike, we can start unlocking Overload, which we might want to have just for utility purposes, giving us another way to reliably get rid of shields. Again, Jack and now Shepard with that shotgun upgrade, we're doing better against shields now, so it might not be as urgent, but still nice to have that additional way to take care of business there. Then, for Master Thief, this is her passive ability here, and gives her health, weapon damage, and better recharge time, and that being primarily, of course, for, well, Shadow Strike, but also Overload. Then Flashbang Grenade, we can only use once she becomes loyal, but this is another ability that is actually quite powerful because it is a strong debuff. Disorienting concussive charge is thrown that inflicts minor damage and incapacitates all nearby targets. Both delicate electronics and enemy nervous systems are temporarily disabled, causing weapon overheats, omni-tool jams, and difficulties in using biotic powers. So, very good against enemies that have a bunch of special powers that they're trying to use against us, because it will disable those for a very long time, actually. I think that is the incapacitate duration. I think the one you see there is the duration of the weapons overheating, but I think the one that incapacitates their tech and biotic abilities is significantly longer than that. So this is super good, especially if, say, we're looking for a way to complement us using our biotic charge, getting right in the middle of things, and we're worried about our opponents using some really powerful skill to annihilate us. Having something like Flashbang Grenade to stop them from using those abilities for a while is a great way to cover for us. So Kasumi is really good in that sense, but we cannot use that ability yet, at least not until she is loyal. So that's something that longer term we're going to want to plan for, but at least for right now, why don't we at least get a little bit more in Shadow Strike? And let me think here. What are we going to want to do when it comes to... The question here is, because she has so many strong abilities here, it's more so a question of what do we opt not to take with her, because so much of it is so good. And I think, although Flashbang Grenade is really good, it is an ability that maybe we don't need to have a ton of points in. We just need enough for her to be able to use the basic ability, maybe not a fully upgraded one. So I think we probably will go all out on Shadow Strike, maybe even all out on Overload for area overload there. And if we go all out on Shadow Strike, then we can either increase damage done when assassinating the target, or reduce the cooldown. So basically, do you go all out single target damage, or do you try to make it so that you can use it more frequently, so it's more of a use it against even your standard enemy type of situation? But let's not upgrade it in full just yet. We could, but I'd like for us to at least get some access to Overload at this stage as well. In fact, let's see. So this will be 7. So we could do full-blown Shadow Strike, and then still have 1 more points in Overload, and at least for the moment, pass up on Master Thief, her passive. That might be worth doing. Let's go for it. Does beg the question, though, which one do we prefer? Do we want... Let's see. The Deadly Shadow Strike is 550 damage, which is ridiculous, and incapacitates for 7 seconds, whereas the key difference here is 100 less damage for the Rapid Shadow Strike, but reduces the cooldown by 80% if the target is killed by this power, meaning that, again, the idea is you're using it on a much weaker target, and then that way you get it to come back from cooldown much more quickly, and you can chain them together, you know, take someone out with a rapid attack, and then follow up with another one soon thereafter. And trying to think of what would be most complementary to our setup if we're charging in a lot, because, well, we probably want to try to avoid hitting the really big baddies with our charge. We're looking for more so finishing people off, or maybe larger groups of smaller, weaker enemies that are not about to immediately annihilate us if we do charge in. So there's something to be said for having her be more of a single target specialist. So maybe I'm leaning toward deadly here. I think both certainly have the potential to be quite potent. 9 seconds is a long time, though. Our teammates' abilities will always have longer cooldowns than Shepard's abilities. And this might even be a little bit on the longer side than most other abilities as well, partially because it is just that good. But, let's go with deadly, I guess. And then throw another point into overload to give us a little bit more damage to shields and synthetics, and a stun length as well for synthetics. Okay, cool. So that's Kasumi. Then we have Jack. And Jack, as I was saying previously, is a tricky one, because, as you can see here, has many of the same abilities as us. She has Shockwave. Oh, sorry, we have Shockwave. She has Pull. We have Pull. And as I was saying before, usually what happens is, for Shepard, our cooldown time is significantly quicker than our teammates' cooldown time. So, for example, rank 1 Pull for us has a 3-second cooldown, whereas for Jack, it's a 9-second cooldown. That is a huge difference. Of course, that may... actually, not sure if that'll get faster as we level it up. It may not, even at the highest rank. But that does beg the question, you know, if we can do everything that Jack does, but better, then what do we want Jack to do? Do we double down and just have 2 people doing the same types of things? In which case, we focus on Pull? Or do we say, okay, we're not going to do much in the way of Shockwave, so maybe we have Jack be our Shockwave specialist, even if, generally speaking, I don't think it's as strong of an ability. So, it's a bit of a tough one for those reasons, and also, perhaps a reason why we may not use Jack all that much long-term, to tell you the truth. I'm thinking that long-term, eventually, we would like to, much like in the case of Kasumi, use her Warp ability here, which is the ability that, like Kasumi, and her Flashbang Grenade, only becomes available to us once Jack becomes loyal. But this is, I think, the key unique thing about Jack that will make her a helpful asset to the team, because this is the only type of ammo that can deal extra damage to barriers, and so this is a good way for us to specialize when we know we're going against a bunch of enemies with barriers as a defensive layer. So I think, and then her passive is just health, weapon damage, and power recharge time, so that can help to lessen the cooldown time of things like Pull that we'd like to be using pretty regularly. So at the very least, why don't we put the second point in Shockwave, because we need to do that if we even want to have access to Pull. Then, why don't we... The key question is basically, to what extent do we go with Shockwave versus Pull? So, why don't we, for that reason, maybe focus instead on going with the passive for now, and we'll mull it over as to whether we want to focus on Shockwave or Pull long term. So we should have just enough to go all the way here for a fully upgraded passive. So let's see, we have either Primal Adept, increasing Jack's biotic abilities, further reducing the recharge time of her powers, or increasing Jack's weapon damage. That's an interesting question, because Jack is mostly a biotic specialist, but because she has access to shotguns, even for a biotic specialist, she actually does pack a bit of a punch when it comes to weapon damage. So let's see, it's 18% weapon damage for the Adept, whereas it's 25% weapon damage for the Vanguard. Health is the same. Power recharge time is 7% better for Adept. So it's basically 7% recharge time versus 7% weapon damage. What do we prefer there? I think, for the most part, we are not relying... I mean, again, not only do we have this access to the same biotic abilities as Jack, we also have access to the same types of weapons as Jack. So, neither one of those things is she particularly unique in that sense. It's mostly just her warp ammo that's going to be the thing that is her calling card. I think we probably prefer to go with the power recharge time, though, because for the most part, if we are going to have Jack join us, that means we have a lot of biotics in the party, and our other party member that we're bringing along with us probably going to be more of a combat specialist, someone who could really pack a punch with their weapons. So I think we embrace the biotics with Jack. For times when we want to go all out biotics, we'll use her. Whereas when it comes to weapon damage, there are going to be others that can do that more effectively than her. So let's go with the Adept in that case. Okay. And so that's our abilities here. We're looking at weapons. Like I was saying, Jack can go shotgun and heavy pistol. And those are the two types of weapons that we've done the most upgrading for. Getting the Carnifex for the heavy pistol and Get the Plasma Shotgun for the shotgun. So I like that a lot. Then for Kasumi, she is on the submachine gun and heavy pistol, so she is not much in the way of a particularly special weapons user. So that is not the thing that she is particularly good at, but she has nice abilities, so we'll take the Carnifex, because that's the best we have for the heavy pistol, but other than that, for us, I mean, I'm not sure we're really going to be using much of our heavy weapon here, so we should be fine. Why don't we stick with this and head on in? Okay, weapons drawn. And signs of enemies already. Let's see, let's save here before we get going. And look around a little bit, see if there happens to be anything that we can loot here. And, well, this is first time we've had either Jack or Kasumi in the party with us, so good to have them with us this time around. And let's see. I don't think there's anything over here. This will be the first time we're going on a mission in which our new armor is relevant as well, because of course the previous one, we were just exploring an abandoned ship. Okay, hold on. There's some new information here. So, N7 Lost Operative, I believe, is the one we're working on right now. So, Lost Cerberus Operative is believed to be held in an Eclipse base on planet Lorek. The Operative may have sensitive data that, if lost to Eclipse, could cause irreparable damage to Cerberus. So, we've entered the facility. We need to recover the stolen data and upload it to Cerberus. Okay. Noted.
Here they come.
And we've got some friends. So we've got an Eclipse Trooper. And so it has shields. And for that reason, we definitely need to have a way to get rid of those shields. So let's use Overload here.
Stop shooting me!
And use our extra damage with our shotgun to shields to annihilate that guy. And there may be more people coming from here. There are. Another Eclipse Trooper. They're actually hurting us a fair bit here. We do not have great cover. Our friends do. Let's overload them, and then we may even charge in here to try to get our shields back. Real quick. Although, now we would like to go back to get better cover, because now we're pretty darn hurt. Please let us take cover. That was close. Okay, let's take a look. Eclipse Vanguard, Eclipse Trooper, and Eclipse Trooper. So notice the word Vanguard. Yes, that is significant. That means that, well, they may have some biotic abilities of their own, much like we do as a Vanguard. So let's take a minute here, put on our special ammo, and then Jack is taking it. Where's Jack? Sumi's right there. Jack is there? Jack, where'd you go? I'm here.
Grab cover!
Are you in front? Really, Jack? No wonder you're getting hit. Standing out in the open like that. Alright, so, this Eclipse Vanguard. Let's take this opportunity to show you what Shadow Strike is all about.
Now you see me. I'm going down too.
And, well, Kasumi nearly one-shot that person. Jack, in the meantime, as we were saying, spent a little too long just chilling out in the open, and did go down there. Did we not hit him there? We may not have. Then once Kasumi finishes her Shadow Strike, she returns to where she came from, so she's back over here and no longer right in harm's way. Could charge this Vanguard, but I'm not really sure we want to do that. I'd rather take you out that way. So Jack, I mean, to be honest with you, was probably the less important of our two teammates. So we may not focus much on bringing her back at the moment. We may be fine for the time being. Especially because if we wait long enough, she'll just come back on her own. So that's all good. Gotta be a little more careful with Jack next time. Let's see, let's pick up some ammo while we're at it. Can we save here? We can. Might as well, I suppose. And we have Security Council and console and holding cell access. That is definitely stuff we're going to want to check out soon, but let's just make sure we don't have anything around here that we can also pick up. There is another door here and another door there. I imagine we probably can't go through just yet, but I just want to make sure we're not missing out on any other loots. Not seeing any right now, other than perhaps this place where those guys seem to have come from. Okay, we have a medkit and we have a wall safe. Let's bypass this. Let's see. That. What was this? This, and that. That, finally. There we go. For, it looks like 3,750 credits. Not a bad count. And we don't need the Metagel, so we just get the additional 100 credits there as well. So, nice. Load up a bit more on the resources there. Then, I think that's it, other than, of course, these things here. We've got the security console and the holding cell access. Let's go with this first, I think. It's like the same story here. Ooh. Okay, hold on. Oh, no, wait. What? They were right next to each other and I accidentally misclicked. We can do it again, fortunately. Okay, they are going to be reset this time, though. Okay, again. Be careful when they're right next to each other like this, because it is a little easier to misclick. This one is quite straightforward, though. This time, we get only 375 credits. Okay, not that much, but hold on. Now we have an Eclipse Trooper showing up over here. And we'll check out those consoles soon, I suppose. Let's actually get in cover, though. Okay, so again, the shields are a problem, because we can't use our biotics until those shields are down. There. Oh, that's again, Jack. What are you? You have a death wish. I mean, like, yes, you can go down there, just as long as you actually stay in cover and not decide to just jump out when and wherever you want.
Got you.
Okay. I'd like to overload this guy and take him out. Okay, we've got some more come through. This is a Vanguard, so that one is definitely a higher priority. And it did just hit us some kind of biotic ability there. That might be a tech ability somewhere as well. So yeah, Eclipse. Remember, we were talking about how they're kind of like the Blue Suns, that they're their own group, and they have their own distinct characteristics that are more unique to them. So we were talking about the Blue Suns being very shield-oriented. Eclipse tends to be more barrier-oriented, so if we had Jack loyal and we could use her warp ammo, would be good in this situation, or any situation against Eclipse. And they do, as is the case here with this Vanguard, have more access to biotic abilities than many of the other enemies that we have encountered in the past. So, let's see. This Vanguard may be low enough that we could try going with a Deadly Shadow Strike here. Remember, that Sumi should come back here when she's done. There she is. Okay. So I'm pretty sure that Vanguard is now down. That was definitely the most threatening of the enemies. Oh, and there is Mori, who is, I believe, the leader of this group, and that may be the person who's using these tech abilities on us, so he is definitely now the most dangerous. So why don't we try to get rid of the little guys first. Oh, that shockwave that I tried to get from Jack might have hit one of the barriers in between these guys, rather than taking our intended target. Yeah, I'd like to get this guy. Should be an easy Shadow Strike target, I think. Well, I mean, he's about to die anyway. Okay. Now, I think Jack might have taken care of one of these guys. Definitely still have Mori. We leave him for... Oh, Kasumi's right next to him. Kasumi. If it's only him, which it appears as though it is now, then it should be considerably more straightforward. He has some tech abilities, as you're seeing here. Shooting what appeared to have been an Incinerate at us. That shotgun shot might have missed. That did not. Alright, so now he's down to armor, which still means no biotics against him. Also means overload now no longer effective. But Shadow Strike does work. I don't think it's going to be enough to take him out quite yet. We realized we must have run out of ammo on our shotgun there. Now that he's just down to health, let's go for the Shadow Strike here. See just how much damage it can do.
They got combat drones.
And you get a good look at Kasumi doing the move there and punching him in the face and finishing him off effectively. It worked. Let's see. So we got the interrogation report. Let's take a look. Subject ID. Interrogator. Corporal Giro. Subject, Cerberus Agent Tyrone Rawlings. Clips targeted Agent Rawlings some time ago. We know Rawlings is connected to the encrypted data we acquired. The data could conclusively prove Cerberus's involvement in Rachni experiments, which is of course something that we did learn about firsthand in Mass Effect 1. We believe Rawlings possesses a cipher that can be used to decrypt the data. Without his cipher, the data would take years for Eclipse to decode. Okay. Then subject captured. Interrogator Corporal Giro. Cerberus Agent Tyrone Rawlings is again a subject. Agent Rawlings proved difficult to capture. Having insinuated himself on a ship bound for the Attican Traverse, he had won over the loyalty of the ship's crew, who believed him to be a human dignitary on a mission of discovery. Our own agents managed to disable the ship and hollow its defenses long enough to extract Agent Rawlings. We lost a lot of men to obtain this asset. This data had better be worth the expense. Then, subject interrogated. Again, Corporal Giro doing the interrogation and Agent Rawlings, the subject. The interrogation has failed. Despite some of our most advanced interrogation techniques, not sure we want to know what those are, Agent Rawlings managed to evade our questions. When we applied more invasive method, okay, no, those are the ones we don't want to know about. He proved resistant to those as well. Eventually, Agent Rawlings' resistance caused tempers to flare. We consider it unfortunate that Agent Rawlings did not live to pass on the cipher. So they did kill him. They didn't get the information out of him, but they did kill him. We have men working to decipher the encryption now. As long as we control this data, its mere existence remains a powerful tool against Cerberus, so we know what the state of it is. They have the data, but they don't know how to encrypt it, or decrypt it, but they are trying to do so. So if we can get it, that would be lovely. Also, looking for ammo at the moment. Here we are. So we can switch back over to our shotgun, because yeah, we definitely did run out of ammo on it. After picking up that ammo, we are still only at 8. Let's see, we've got, some resources here, it looks like. Some refined platinum. 800 of that. Don't mind if I do. Anything else over here? I think we've gotten rid of the vast majority, if not potentially even all of the enemies, because that was, I believe, the leader that we took down recently. Bypass the door? Let's take a look. It's gonna be this and this. And you and you. You and you. And finally, you two. Alright, we're in. Looks like just... Oh, that might be him. But, okay, we have the computer console. That may be all. Let's take a look. Yikes.
This computer contains the encrypted intelligence extracted from the captured Cerberus agent. The information could adversely affect Cerberus if it were ever circulated publicly.
Oh. Now this is interesting. Of course, we're currently working for Cerberus, yes. However, Cerberus is a criminal organization, or at least an organization that regularly does violate the law. So you can make the case that having this kind of evidence against them could be for the betterment of the galaxy if it were in the public knowledge, even if that does hurt Cerberus. And that would mean giving it to the Alliance, whereas obviously giving it to Cerberus would help Cerberus more. Could recover it for ourselves, though. I think, given how sure Cerberus happens to have resurrected us, yes. So we happen to be working for them at the moment, but that's mostly out of necessity rather than choice. If given the choice, we would probably like to be working with the Alliance again, the human military, and so, you know, why don't we give it to them?
Data uploaded to Alliance Command.
Okay, So, mission complete. Cerberus operative Tyrone Rawlings was found dead. Encrypted data transmitted to Alliance for decryption. We gained 125 experience. And we got a decent chunk of credits as well. And some platinum.